your soul, allow your glow to seep into your flow, slow your roll. That pain, let go, now you... All right, that's the furthest I've gotten so far from yesterday and today. But
Okay.
and I had like the hums here for the next section of the drop. It's gonna go more like a valley, I guess. Hey, you know you gotta go, and hey, you go. You get it. Those aren't the words I want, but like the hey, on the scratch take. So
Okay.
my hang up, let me think of how to present it. Okay. So like making the instrumentals and stuff and like keeping it super basic is awesome for finding the groove and everything. And again, I know this is for the purpose of when you don't have direct inspiration, but I feel like I hit a point in it, and I just have to see it through. I have to put the hours in to really grind and get the lyrics to what I want, etc. And this is what I was working on like right up until we met basically today.
Okay.
And it's like taking these loops, I'm able to find stuff that kind of fits for like the vibe I want. I went to like 110 because I wanted it to be slower. Kind of wanted to do something more introspective as far as theme. And I think I kind of hit that, but it's like I'm kind of just grabbing other people's ingredients, right? And then trying
Okay.
to make it cohesive, or mine through the lyrical content and melody. And then the arrangement, obviously, which I haven't even gotten to. But I feel like my hang up is like it's not, and maybe this process is for a different purpose, but it's not fully me. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't feel fully like your way of expression.
well, and it makes it. I hit a hang up point because on like let me maybe open a different where it's like the expression I end up losing. I googled like the emotions of the musical scales, right, of the keys, and like
Okay.
trying to make everything kind of feed into itself. You know, I find like I end up getting hung up at a point because I found things that make a groove and I found things real quick that work for just getting going, but then all together they don't really align for like an emphasis on an emotion or whatever theme. So like here I'll play you this one with the beat. Okay, I think that just repeats. And like I had the intention of going in and like I sang in like a hum that was like a na 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 like more sing songy and whatnot. And then I hit a hang up point on it because I just didn't like that. It was a little too flowy, so I kind of went a little more choppy with this vocal on it. Na, 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 na. No, I retook it. Okay, but it was like you don't know what you don't know. Something like that. It was like more staccato vocal and became more rappy. And then that's when I stopped on this. I reopened it today and retook the na na nas. But I lost the point while trying to find the point, if that makes sense.
Okay.
You
I got
know?
the answer.
Yeah.
So, what I think will help you more, what are you trying to say with the lyrics?
Yeah. So on the first one that I showed you, um, it's like I want it to be introspective, like because like this week beat the shit out of me, so I just want to talk about
Okay, but what does
uh
that mean? Like, what are you introspecting about?
like self acceptance, like
Okay.
not like kind of allowing yourself the grace to not have that much negative self talk, you know, like giving yourself grace hybrid with being on the dance floor.
Okay. And so, like, the lyrical phrases that you're choosing, are they supporting that? Are they getting that across clearly? Because one sticking point you'll find is if your words and your theme are matching up, it may be like counterintuitive to think that it's going to affect the melody and like the production process. But you'll find if you find really strong phrases that support the message of the song, they'll have melodies embedded within them already. And then it's just about breaking down the characteristic of that melody to find like, oh, does it go up and then down, or does it climb up, or is the last rhyme one syllable or two or three, or am I extending the note? Is it a short note? All those characteristics you could switch up from section to section, but now you got to go down below deep into your soul. So it rhymes, but it sounds a little basic because it's it's relying on the rhyme to move it forward.
Yeah, I
So,
struggled with that, and it sounded kind of cheesy at the end with the slow your pain, let go. I say slow your roll is what I ended up recording to stay on the rhyme, and just,
mm,
I mean, slow your roll is fucking stupid, you
you
know?
can find a way. Okay, try to be more conversational and communicative in your lyrics. You can throw in imagery and metaphor and all kinds of other literary techniques to spice things up, but in general, try to just be direct with your message. So if you're saying this is about acceptance and uh the dance floor vibes will come through the delivery and through
Yeah.
the beat. There's definitely melodies that are unique from genre to genre, but or certain like motifs and stuff that you'll hear, but for the most part, think of that as coming through in the production. We're just thinking about the record now and the songwriting composition, that aspect. So now you gotta go. I would try to rephrase this into something like something more urgent. You gotta go. Okay, so what does that look like? You're scrambling for exit, your time is running out, you don't know what time it is, you're trying to figure out like I'm trying to think specifically, how do you know you gotta go? Are your friends telling you? Did you lose track of time? Like all that stuff's gonna help make it more singular. So if you had I'm losing track of time, I'm losing track of time. Da 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 la. So that's one approach you could take. Now, using synonyms is another way to get more out of a phrase. So I'm running out of moments. The
Okay.
bar is close to close. The club is just about closing. Something like that gives me
Okay.
a different way to take it. I'm running out of moonlight. I don't know how to get my mood right. Something like that gives you a different approach.
Those are both better than what I came up with. Um,
Right, and it just comes from taking the initial idea you had and taking it one step further. A lot of the shit I was writing before was here, and the difference is now I have a bit more mental CPU available to think of this, hold it in my head, think about what could be better, refine it a little bit more, and then type it. And even still, I write a lot of doo-doo, but these are just the things I'm thinking of. Like synonyms are gonna give you like different syllable counts to work with. So time versus moment versus hours versus daylight versus all of that is different ways you could say the same thing. You gotta go. Could be scrambling, running towards the exit. It could be whatever. Yeah. Anything can be turned into a melody. I'm running towards the exit. I don't know where I'm going,
so
but
so
I
don't
don't
be
want to
married.
get caught up in moments. Something like that. Like
Yeah.
you just talk the shit out and it has a melody embedded in it. Sorry, I know you had a question, but just
Okay.
last thing. Shakespeare was known for iambic pentameter. I think you're pretty like literary aware kind of guy, so you know what I'm talking about.
I love
But
Shakespeare actually.
everything falls da 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 da. So you're not gonna pick words like, or I don't know why this is the first example, but like we say Detroit here, but some people say Detroit. So
Okay.
that breaks the da 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 da, da Detroit, Detroit, but Detroit is a da 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 versus da 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 da. The different type of feel. So if you have two plus syllables, it's going to have either a stressed or unstressed syllable at the beginning that's going to affect the flow of the word. That's why certain words technically should rhyme in the way they're spelt, but because the way the syllables are stressed, trying to make that work does not work versus picking a near rhyme, an imperfect rhyme that has the same stressing of syllables is going to be way more effective.
Okay. So, and that goes straight back to my to the question I was just about to ask then. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so when you hum in a melody, right, and you chop it up and you find like what you like, you aren't fully married to that because like I made it took me a bit to write these lyrics. I even looked up a ton of synonyms. I have it actually open behind my video screen, but I was like trying to stay like putting a lot of emphasis on that melody and trying not to deviate too much in order to keep because last time we talked about how the melody is the most important and then the
Yep.
lyrics kind of just fit in, but you're saying to kind of in a balance or duality come up with that melody and then write the words, but then rewrite the words in a more conversational way, which I guess just becomes easier through practice and repetition. But to make it more conversational, like you said, which is a huge take for me, because you said make it more talkative, as if you're talking. That's kind of how you said it, but you still sing it, and saying conversational is a really good description for what that is. So
Yes.
yeah, so how married are it to the melody are
I will say this, in general, no creative project I've done has ever lived up to my full like expectations or potential I envision for it. I'm always managing pros and cons and compromises and all this shit to get it to the finish line. So it really depends on a situation basis. There's times where I wrote a track called White Lies, and I came up with that by just humming the hook, and it was like na 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 na, and I just heard white lies, white lies, white lie, 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 and then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. That's the song. That's it. I'm rolling with this because it just, what else? I was trying to think of if I could come up with something, and I'm like, you know what? In 20 minutes, I can't come up with anything that rolls off the tongue as nice. That's what this song is about. That moment of magic just came together. I need to roll with that instead of trying to make it something it's not. But there's other songs like, have I showed you my song Trust Issues?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I
The
don't think
melody
so.
is like, I just wanna know how'd you get up in my phone? Who gave you the code? Who gave you these trust issues? Fucking with you, promise I'ma hold you down. Okay, so the way that
Mhm.
came together, it was kind of natural, but also there was some strategy behind it because I knew, okay, trust issues is the title. I was thinking, what would be trust issues going through the phone? So once I had phone, I didn't want to know. One syllable. How'd you get up in my phone? Who gave you the code? Who gave you these trust issues? Three
Yeah,
syllables now. Really sticks out. Uh, fucking with you. Promise I'ma hold you down. All I need is your love. So one syllable, and now I'm tacking in the space, the
yeah,
additional couple words to keep the energy running. So the whole chorus came together by there is a concept of trust issues, which makes it more effective. And the trust issues hits in. We could talk about this more when it runs out. I'm actually going to put a video on Patreon about this, but every chorus or hook should have a money moment. So right now, this goes, now you know, you gotta go down below, deep into your soul, allow your glow. It all hits the same. But if you had, now you know, you gotta go down below, da 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 da, allow your glow, da
yeah,
da da. So it has some sort of payoff and delivery. The money moment is essentially the strongest setup of tension and release in the song. Of all the dopamine hits you give the listener, this is the ultimate one. And I'll show you a couple examples, but that's what you need. That will come with stronger phrasing because it will open up what you're able to say more when you're less reliant on the rhymes. And then you'll also get more interesting melodies through finding phrases which naturally roll off the tongue. I'll give one example that comes to mind. I'm trying to think of anybody else. It's my boy, and I love him. But we had a song that we worked on, and I was helping him out a bit, and he ended up not taking my suggestion. Obviously, this is my biased opinion, but it still kind of just hits my ear wrong when I listen to the song. And the thing was, the chorus was not too many things that I'd rather do than spend all of my time trying to cut you loose. I'll fall for you. I survive. Oh no, he did. I'll survive off the vibe that I get from you. You take over my mind if you want me to. Something like that. And we were going back and forth. I was like, don't say survive. No one says survive. And he wanted to stick closer to the melody of I'll survive off the vibe. But to me, you're not going to get as strong of a performance if you're pronouncing it in a way that you wouldn't speak it. And if there's a way that you can modify the natural conversational way to be melodic, use that variation to your advantage. So I suggested, I survive off the vibe that I get from you. So you get vibe, you get that symmetry. So it's worth breaking away from the original flow. You feel me?
Yeah, and it gives you that
And it
money
makes
moment
it,
because it's a little different.
that's not quite the money moment. We'll
Okay.
hop into that after this, but just the conversational flow of lyrics is important instead of rhyme. Phrasing and flow. Flow being the stressing and unstressing of syllables. That is what you pay attention to. Let rhyme fall in place.
Okay. That's huge because that was the opposite of what I was doing. And that gives you that professional like optics when Drake writes, he sounds so conversational.